Hi, everybody. I hope that you have a good weekend planned ahead. We're going to round up our attitude and we're going to talk a tiny bit about some situations that come up that might cause you problems. Now, these are a little bit harder. The first one I'm going to give you is I think you'll get it. I think you'll understand it really easily. The second one, it's necessary and it's something you need to learn, but it's going to be a little bit tougher to follow. You might want to look at some of my YouTube videos or Vimeo on demand. Eddie Cantor has a great section in his books on this. I'm sure there's other authors out there that have things posted. You know, you might check some of their websites. It's a little bit harder to grasp, but it's important. So remember, attitude is one of the things that we give when partner leads, but we have a few things that take precedence, like third hand high, right? Now, if you're going to tell me second hand low and third hand high, okay. When we talk about third hand high, that's a defender rule. And when we talk about the concept kind of second hand low, that's a defender rule also. I hear a lot of times people kind of quote those at me as they're playing a hand out. Well, you're looking at both hands when you're a declarer, right? So you can decide what to do. Both of those sayings are things that are like a default. They're almost always right, but not always. We're going to look at some of those. But first, we're going to do the easy one because, you know, I like easy. So your partner is on lead. I've given you a lead and dummy, and then 3 possible things you might hold in your hand, okay? So here's the first one. Okay, so your partner led the 2 of hearts, and the queen, the 5, and the 3 are in dummy. Okay, so first let's take it that dummy plays the queen. Declare plays the queen out of dummy. Well, that's pretty easy. We're going to cover that honor, right? We're going to play our king on top of the queen. Yep. So anytime then that declarer plays the queen from dummy and we don't play the king or ace, partner knows we do not hold that card. Okay? So if he plays the queen and we don't play the king, we don't have the king. Okay? So there's the 2 things that we might hold. We might hold 3 small cards, or we might hold the jack. And when I say we don't have the king, remember, we also don't have the ace. If they played the queen from dummy and we had the ace, we would play the ace. So what is the biggest card, the strongest card you could hold if you don't have the king or the ace and the queen's in dummy? It's the jack, right? So if partner led the 2 of hearts and they played the queen from dummy, if you had the jack, the 7, and the 6, you would play your lowest one. You would play the 6. Okay? And, excuse me, I forgot, you're not playing upside down. You would play the 7. The 7 is encouraging. The 7 says, please continue, hearts. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had a little mental lapse there for a minute. So if your partner leads the 2 and declare plays the queen, you're going to play the 7, the highest card that you can afford to play. And what it says is, partner, I think you should continue to lead this suit. I don't have the king. I don't have the ace. You're looking at the queen, but I've got the next one. I've got the jack. So if you have anything good in hearts, you might want to continue to lead them if you get the lead. And if you had the 9, the 6, and the 4, you would play the 4. Partner, I don't have the next highest card. As far as my hand's concerned, you probably shouldn't lead this suit again. I can't help you in this suit. Okay? So when your partner leads low and declare plays a card from dummy that you cannot play higher than, you kind of give attitude based on, do I have the best thing that I could have for partner? You know, do I have a good card? Do I have a card that was going to help him create a trick? All right, so, whoops, I just smeared it with my hand. Hold on a second, let me fix it. This is the hard situation, okay? they lead the 2 of hearts again. The Queen 5-3 is still in dummy, and you have the king. But guess what? Declarer doesn't play the queen. If Declarer plays the queen from dummy, you should play the king. Okay? But what if Declarer plays the 3 from dummy? Well, you've heard that third hand high, right? But that's not true necessarily in this situation. If you had the king, the 6, and the 4, you don't really have a card that can help partner create a trick. Now, let me go back. Let me preface this with, we're talking about a no trump contract. In a suit contract, partner would have never underled an ace, right? So we know Declarer has the ace, and playing the king is almost never right. Okay, but in no trump, if your partner leads the 2, and you play the Declarer plays low with the king, the 6, and the 4, it's probably right to play the king. But if you have a higher honor than the honor in dummy, and Declarer does not play that honor, and you have a card like a 9 or higher, kind of an intermediate card, it's almost always correct to play that 9, or in the king 10 for the 10. Now, I know that's hard, because that doesn't make sense, does it? You know, how would I know to do that? Well, if you take out a deck of cards and you put down the cards that partner might have led from, because remember, partner didn't lead the jack, so partner doesn't have like ace, jack, 10, right? They could have the ace, but they're not going to have the jack and the 10 as well. If they did, they would have probably led the jack or 10. Even if they did have the jack or 10, well, the 9, you've got the 9, right? So what happens is the way that the rest of the cards might be divided in Declarer's hand and what your partner led from, it works out that the worst that happens is you kind of break even. I was never going to get a trick, and I didn't get a trick, or didn't help partner get a trick. This is really hard. There's some good examples. I could show you, tons of them if you were in a classroom with me, but you're not. But Eddie's book has a lot of examples of that. My intermediate defense book has some examples of that. Lots of people have written about this, okay? So the way it works is, and this is just kind of a general rule, what's usually going to be right. If Declarer leads low, there is an honor in dummy, and Declarer does not play that honor, you have a higher honor than the one in dummy, and a 9 or higher in your hand. It's usually right to play the 9 or the 10 or whatever that card is. It's the way the rest of the cards work out that your 9 or 10 is likely to force a decent enough big card that it's going to work out well. Well, if you played the king, you might give Declarer 2 tricks. That one's really hard. That one's really hard. But take a look, do some studying. Like I said, I have some stuff on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of people, that's kind of a third hand play. That's what you'd want to look for. Third hand play situations that'll help you out with that. Okay. Talk to you on Monday. Bye-bye.